Okay, today we're going to do an Aries love reading. This is for guidance for all the singles out there that are looking for a little bit of guidance in their love life. Shuffling the cards. Spirits of light and love. Spirits of light and love, please give us a message for all the Aries singles out there looking for a little bit of guidance in their love life. The Sun. First, we have the Six of Pentacles, then we have the Sun. Spirits of light and love, please speak to me. Speak to all the Aries singles out there looking for guidance. And then there is Death. We have the Eight of Swords. Spirit of light and love, please give us a message to all the Aries singles out there that are looking for a little bit of guidance. They are looking for answers. Please give us a message that will help bring clarity to their life, to their questions. Spirits of light and love, please bring clarity to those Aries folks looking for clarity in their love life. Just need 3 more cards and then we'll get going. Shuffle one more time. And we have the Three of Swords, oops, and the King of Cups jumping right out. We got one more. There we go. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. Looking at these cards, you have the Six of Pentacles. You have the Sun and the Death on the first row. The Six of Pentacles speaks to me about a desire of equal give and take. And next to the Sun, which is a card of passion and joy and pleasure, followed by the Death card. So again, this first row really sends out a message of you having a desire to be in a relationship where there is equal give and take. Perhaps this is something that you've been struggling with in your prior relationships. But with it having the Sun card and the Death card next to it, this really feels to me like you're leaving something behind. Um, and the thought that I'm getting is that maybe you're leaving behind an old way of thinking or an old way of being, um, an old pattern that you've had in your previous relationships. Um, you're either in the process of leaving an old way of thinking, or this is something that you've already started something that you've gained clarity on already. Um, and then we have, so this is all very positive overall. You have really good cards here, um, because the death is a very positive card because it speaks of endings, and we need to have endings in order to have new beginnings. And with this being a guidance kind of reading, it really speaks of you leaving something behind. Again, probably an old pattern, an old way of being, an old way of thinking. And then on the next row, you have the Eight of Swords, which is a card of anxiety and a card of feeling trapped. But it's right next to the Four of Wands, or I'm sorry, yes, the Four of Wands. Um, So the Eight of Swords, which is a card of feeling trapped and overthinking things, followed by the Four of Wands, which is a card of clarity and stability. And again, this being a guidance reading for love reading, speaks of partnerships and people coming together and just in celebration, in marriage, in harmony, um, and then followed by the Wheel of Fortune. So these two cards right here are really telling me, kind of goes along with what we spoke earlier, which the Eight of Swords next to the Four of Wands really tells me that what is stopping you from your joy is is your own mindset. It means you've been stuck in old patterns. So you have the ability to get here, but they're telling you you have to release that old way of thinking, those negative thoughts, those self-imposed thoughts, right? How you think about yourself and how you view yourself in the relationship. It's time to release that. And with the Wheel of Fortune next to it, what this is telling me is that you are going to go through a major shift. So there is a major shift happening, and we see that with the Death card and the Wheel of Fortune. You're definitely going through a shift. But what the Wheel of Fortune is going to do for you is it's going to force you to look at your pain, basically, to look at the trauma, to look at those old patterns that you've been holding on to. And if you notice, the Wheel of Fortune is followed by the Three of Swords, which is heartbreak. So the Wheel of Fortune is a shift that is happening or is going to happen in your life for you to face this pain that you've had in the past. um, Through old relationships. It could be old relationships or old beliefs that you've adopted, growing up that impact your love life. Things relationships that you grew up around as a child that have shaped how you have behaved in your current relationships, or just really old heartbreak. But you are going to go through a shift where you are going to be forced to look at this heartbreak, to look at this old pain, to face it head on so that you can heal. Because next to your Three of Swords, you have the King of Cups and you have the Knight of Pentacles. Also, really positive cards, which means that once you leave these old patterns and once you've done this healing through this shift that you're going through, you're going to um, you're going to be meeting your King of Cups and your Knight of Pentacles. And the King of Cups is someone who has mastered their emotions, because the King of Cups is, the cups are about emotion. So the King of Cups is someone who is emotionally mature, next to the Knight of Pentacles, which is a very stable energy. So once you go through this shift of facing your pain, you are going to be attracting this emotionally balanced person because you're going to be emotionally balanced. So yeah, this is looking really good here. Now I am going to pull another card for you. I'm going to pull an oracle card from the True Love Oracle, just as a final message here. Final message for Aries. Final message for guidance. Does Aries need to know? Maturity. So again, Aries, this really goes with the reading, really spot on. Maturity in this oracle means having emotional intelligence. It means, looking at yourself and being with yourself and understanding that you are the only one that can bring yourself happiness. Anyone that you meet outside of yourself, well, they can bring in more happiness and they can bring in more joy, but you have to do the work. You have to um, go through that healing process and understand that you have the power within yourself to be happy with everything that is around you and to be happy, in all the different kinds of relationships that we have, with our parents, our children, our friends. So that is what emotional maturity is, kind of taking responsibility for ourselves and just being in that space of trust in ourselves. So that's it for this reading. Really hope that it has helped you, Aries. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.